Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to talk about what it means to dream of your first love. I am sure that during your first years of life, your childhood or youth, you met a boy or a girl who was very special to you and with whom you feel madly in love. I don't know, maybe that person became your partner, or maybe he or she never was because you never dared to reveal what your feelings will be. But anyway, I am talking about that first person who made your heart jump when you didn't even know for sure what that feeling you were experiencing was. There are dreams in which this person appears in your subconscious and leads you to relive the same beautiful emotions and feelings that you had at that moment. That is precisely what I am going to be talking about in this video. But before going into the analysis, in case you don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Robert. I am a psychoanalyst with more than 30 years of experience. And in case you want to have a psychoanalysis session with me, or in case you want the psychoanalysis of one of your dreams, just send me an email to the one that I am going to leave you here below in the description of this video, so I can tell you how you can join my consultation. Dreaming of your first love raises a very interesting topic. Usually in this dream, you will find yourself in the presence of this person who was so special to you, living experiences very similar to the ones you had at the time. If you used to observe her or him from afar and you never dared to tell her about your feelings because she was the most beautiful girl or boy in your school or the place where you will find yourself at that time, the dream will show you precisely that moment. You are in the presence of a person who became inaccessible to you at that moment. Or it might be that was a person with whom you had immediate compatibility and with whom you did have a very beautiful relationship, but that for some reason it came to an end, and therefore it remained in your life story as your first love. If you notice, here we are talking about two different situations, which for the same reason must be analyzed separately. In the case of your first love, that you will never have, in your mind it is being revealed through the figure of that person who was so special to you that you are experiencing a phase in your life in which, in all probability, you want what you do not dare to achieve. If you see it from a deeper point of view, the dream is revealing that you are living a moment of your existence with a great lack of confidence and self-esteem. It is likely that there is something that you want but not dare to achieve, because you fear that if you try to go for it, you could suffer a lot in the process. And that is precisely the reason why during your childhood or your youth years, you never dared to talk to that person, even though you had fallen in love with her or him. Because if you did, you would lose your sense of self-esteem in case that the person will reject you. And there is the importance of this dream, because the figure of your first love that was never realized is shown in your unconscious, in the present, to reveal that it is precisely what prevents you from getting everything you want in your life. You essentially fear rejection from others, because practicing the opinion of others is too important to you, even if you don't want to admit it to yourself. And so what you have to do, if you want to overcome this fear, is to strengthen that aspect of your mind. How do you make what others think of you is no longer so relevant? Because that reflects your first love. If at this moment you had not been so ashamed of what others would think of you, in all probability you would have spoken to them, even risking that rejection. Well, in the present, the same thing happens to you. You want something, but you just don't dare to go for it because what others think blocks you, limits you. And that is why, as I mentioned, The figure of your first love is presented because in practice you are reliving that experience despite the fact that many years have passed since you did not dare to talk to her or him. Now, what if your first love was someone with whom you did have a relationship? Well, in that case, the meaning of the dream changes completely. That is why I always pointed out that each dream is unique because it has its own figures and its own situations that must be analyzed for each particular case. Here I am giving generalizations so that you can get an idea of the meaning of your dreams, but you have to do the particular analysis of your dream if you want to have better results. Well, in the case that this person was your couple and you had a very beautiful relationship, I am talking about your first love, because it is still important to make the point that not all people have their first relationship or their first kiss with someone they love, and that must be taken into account. Here we are talking about that person who did steal your heart, who made butterflies jump in your stomach, in essence, someone with whom you wanted to be. Well, if you had a relationship with that person, the dream is showing you that you are going through a phase of your life in which, in all probability, you are experiencing a latent desire to regain the purest emotions that lie deep down within you, and that you have somehow lost over the years. And that is why the figure of your first love is presented in your subconscious, because it is revealing that you have been involved in situations where the people around you do not show themselves as they really are. And that causes a very important problem in your mind, because in that process of not knowing how others are, you are losing yourself. That is exactly what you want to get back, to know who you are. Something that you don't know otherwise, but that in the context of the situations you are experiencing lead you to try to recover that sense of purity that you once had. That is why, as I told you, the figure of your first love is presented, which symbolizes the one you fell in love with in your early years, because that person showed it in front of you as she or he really was. And that's why what you have to ask yourself here is what kind of people you usually relate to. Because the dream is showing you that your greatest fear lies precisely in that you are also becoming a false person, and that is something that clearly does not go with you. Deep down, the first love you get comes to symbolize your desire to regain your true state of self that has been lost. In all probability, you are going through a phase of your life in which others define who you are, which is very interesting, because if you look at it, both dreams are connected. That is to say, the first love that does not materialize and the one that does lead to a relationship. It clearly shows that you rely a lot on everyone else's opinion to define the type of person you are. And that is where all the blocks are, because all the people who manipulate you or try to dominate you do so precisely because they perceive that you are a person who, even if you do not want to admit it, you depend too much on what they tell you. Precisely because it is you who still cannot define who you are. For the same reason, you already know that if you want me to psychoanalyze some of your dreams or have therapy sessions with me, just send me an email to the one that I leave you below so that I can tell you the way in which you can integrate to my consultation. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video if it helped you in any way, and share it so that others can access to this kind of knowledge. Have a wonderful day, and with it, the most beautiful dreams. Bye!